this home run right here, and I'm wearing it on my shirt, there was a moment where you were going from third to home.
He was doing the thing.
I was doing the wave thing. When my family is here, I'll like wave to them when I'm like walking into the dugout because that's where the family section is. But yeah, that one was, just one of those old school waves. Is obviously something I don't think you can do every time. It just felt right in that moment, and it kind of hit me. It wasn't it just wasn't planned. I don't think I could ever plan for that, but it just kind of hit me running to home. I was like, I'll give a wave.
Hey, thanks for meeting us at the Apple. It's playoff baseball. I'm Vito Calisi. You can follow me on Twitter at Vito F. Calisi. That's Jonathan Baronet, JME9191. And we're sitting with Jesse Winker, fan favorite, Mr. Helmet Spikes. How much fun is this ride we're on right now?
I mean, it's a thrill ride. It's the best. It's the best baseball I've ever been a part of, with an unbelievable group of people. And the only thing I could really say to describe it is just I'm grateful to just be here. This is incredible.
Now, we chatted with you, I believe it was the afternoon before your first start as a Met. You got traded on Sunday. I think we did our conversation on Monday. It was a great conversation. Everyone enjoyed it. We were very appreciative of it. And this is the first time we've spoken to you since. So let's go back to then, from then to now, your time here so far, being a Met, being in the clubhouse, being in front of the fans who adore you so much. How awesome has it been for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's been the best. Just coming to work every day, you just don't want it to end. Like every game, I'd go home and I just couldn't wait to come back. And that's just because like the people, obviously great teammates, great staff around us. And then it's just everybody, the people inside this building they make it such a joy. And, it's like, I keep saying it's been a dream come true, but like, I don't know how else to describe it. It's just been a ton of fun. And obviously the fans have been supporting us. They've been carrying us through this stretch. I mean, everywhere we went on the road, they were there. They were in Atlanta. They were in Milwaukee. They were loud in Milwaukee too. They were in Philly, loud in Philly. And then playing here, those 2 home playoff games, it was electric.
One of my favorite moments I've seen this year, it's weird. It's a moment on the field, but it wasn't during the game. It was you pregame one day, and your daughter like came down all the way to the photo well, and I just watched you guys interact, and like it just was incredible to see. Like I went like 4 people were standing next to each other and literally went, "Oh," and it was just like having her here for those moments. I mean, you guys. She came over, I saw, and then as she walked away, you gave her the heart. But like this, you guys have a handshake together.
Yeah.
What's it been like for her to just be here for all of this happening right now?
It's been amazing for her. And that's a whole nother element is how, when you get traded, how welcoming everybody was to me, but also, my family and my daughter. It's just first class. Everybody involved, with our kids area here it's just incredible. And, moments like that, the privilege of being a girl dad is something like I don't take that lightly. It's been such a unbelievable experience for me, and you learn every day, and I'm just so proud of my daughter. And it's just, man, it definitely will stop you in your tracks because, she's 4 now. I feel like it's happened like that. I FaceTime her when she's with me. Obviously, I get to see her every day. When she's at her mom's, I get to FaceTime her, and now we're having like conversations. She's telling me how school's going and everything, and I'm just, I have to like just stop and just like look at her and I'm like, oh my God, this is incredible. So, man, when we get to do our handshake, it's something that it's so cool. It's so cool. So, I'm always stoked when she's here, and she, she loves the play area. She loves playing. I hope she's, not tearing the place apart. But yeah, she's cool, man. She's a great little girl.
No, like I said, I mean, like I watched that moment like from like 2 feet away from you guys, and like you almost wanted to tear up watching it.
Yeah, she wants to stay on the field. She's like, "Can I stay down here?" And I'm like, "Baby, the game's starting in 10 minutes. Daddy's got to go. I gotta get ready." She goes, "All right, after the game?" And I'm like, "Yeah, after the game." When I was in DC, I lived right behind the field, so there was plenty of games that we would just be out running on the field until pretty much the lights went off. And she loves it.
So this home run right here that I'm wearing on my shirt, there was a moment where you were going from third to home, and there's been a few arguments about what you were doing because you waved.
Yeah.
Were you waving to Mets fans?
Yeah.
Were you waving to your family?
No, it was just like one of those.
He was doing the thing.
Yeah, I was doing the wave thing. When my family is here, I'll like wave to them when I'm like walking into the dugout because that's where the family section is. But yeah, that one was, just one of those old school waves. But yeah, it's obviously something I don't think you can do every time. It just felt right in that moment, and it kind of hit me. It wasn't it wasn't planned. I don't think I could ever plan for that, but it just kind of hit me running to home. I was like, I'll give a wave.
You're built for that moment. I may or may not have texted Vito during the afternoon, game 3. And I said to Vito, this could be a Jesse Winker game.
I have the text. He's 100%.
There was something about you and Noel and the curveball and your swing path and his pitch shape that I just felt good about. And you almost hit one your first time up when Castellanos made that catch against the fence, but you just looked locked in against him. And then it obviously turned out that it was the case.
I haven't had much success against him.
Yeah, you were 4 for 20. I looked it up.
It's not like, I haven't had a lot of success against him. Like you talk about his pitch shape, it's like, I don't know if I'm matched up for that because, he's really dominated me really. He commands both sides up and down. You can't really guess with him because that you put yourself in a bigger hole. You're never right. So, I kind of just went all in on a fastball and got the barrel on it. So I was happy about that.
And this place got lit when you hit that homer. It was also lit back on August 21st when you coined the phrase, this place is lit, kind of became a bit of a moniker here around Citi Field. That was an incredible moment. View and I, we did the podcast right after, and we said, man, we wish we could talk to Jesse right now and just get what was going through his mind because the celebration was pure electricity. And I feel like it was the first time where you just showed the Mets fans that Jesse Winker is who Jesse Winker is, and it's take it or leave it. Like, if you don't like it, whatever. And if you're on my side, you're going to love it, and we all do. That moment, that home run, I know it was a while ago against Baltimore, but now
gotta talk about it.
Now that we got you here, just the celebration. It was your first Met home run also. It was the perfect time for that homer, a big 2 of 3. May or may not have trolled the Orioles a little bit after that game with some memes on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was good, right? You a fan of The Wire?
I haven't gone gate to gate, but obviously I know it's like a legendary show.
They started it. They started it, because they on Twitter.
I don't have any of the social media, so I didn't see it. But
and also you did a helmet spike there too. That one doesn't get, I think, the recognition it deserves at this point.
Yeah, you know what, guys? Those are full blackout moments. I couldn't tell you what's running through my head because I don't know. It's just kind of like you said, it's just a bunch of emotion coming out.
The stop at first base was sick. Like when you stopped at first base and turned to the crowd and like looked like Gladiator, you're not entertained.
I was looking to my dugout the dugout because I was just so happy because I know when I got traded here, every series matters. I feel like we've been essentially playing for our season since.
You know, a 2-month playoff run basically.
And it's like, and you can just tell by how everyone comes in here ready. Everyone prepares well. There's a ton of work that goes on, and everyone works extremely hard. And so, like, for something like that to happen, it's like I just blacked out. I couldn't believe it. So, I was just really, really excited. And then all that happened. It's happened a couple times, and it's like that's just kind of how it goes. I'm an emotional cat. I won't sit here and say I'm not. It's been the story of my career. If I could, getting better at that and working on that is something I'm going to try to achieve. Like, I'm going to begin this off season, but it's also something that I think it just kind of makes me who I am. But I would like to be able to harness it a little more because I think conserving energy is also a big part of our sport. It's such a long season, and the more you can put your energy into certain things and being able to control it is I think is kind of like a secret weapon.
Well, you've come up with some huge moments, the triple in Milwaukee, and then obviously the homer against Nola, some big walks also, just getting on base, making things happen, and doing it in October. What's the difference like playing, not to downplay games in August or September or earlier in the season, but once the bright lights of October are flipped on and you're playing against good teams every single night, facing a good starting pitcher, ace relievers, how much more exhilarating is it? And just the overall difference in your mindset of how you go about managing those situations.
Yeah, obviously we have great game plans going into the games. With on the hitting side, our hitting coaches are outstanding, and everyone else in that department that goes into it. And then, it's what you play for. I think JD said it best. It's like these games are
He also said that.
Yeah, they're addicting. And he's right. I've never experienced anything like it. I've been in the playoffs before, but this is just different. And it's just it's like I said, it's just an honor to be a part of. And like, as for everything else, you just want to get on base because, Marte has been so clutch. He's gotten so many big hits, and obviously Paco and Pete and everybody, but it's like everyone, it seems like whatever the game's called for, we've kind of responded, which is great. So when I'm up there, I'm like, all right, how can I just make it tough on this guy? Like, can I get on here? Can I put the barrel on this right here? And that's it, and everything else that happens, it's clearly out of your control, right? But yeah, these games, they bring out the side of you that I think is so amazing. It's I have nothing to compare it to. It just pulls out something in you that it's addicting.
And you've had an impact not just on the field, but we saw that you were the guy that came up with "Let's all wear matching eye black," right?
It was a group, I guess, but I feel like it was a group effort.
I heard that you were literally going around putting it on people's faces.
Yeah, no, that happened for sure. But you have to get, obviously you have to get the approval, and a bunch of great guys, and it started with like a simple line and then a design, and then we got over to the starting pitcher's number, which I think is, I think it's amazing. When I'm standing in the on deck circle and I might, peek into the dugout, you see Mania
with a 4-0 on his 40.
face. Like, these guys are incredible.
There were so many memes about it too. It was like to other starting pitchers in baseball. If he could, he would.
He's these, like I said, everyone in here is amazing. Sean's incredible. Sevy's incredible. Q, all of them. Sanga, everybody. I don't want to leave out everybody.
Did you see Sanga's reaction to the Lindor grand slam?
I did. My brother showed it to me. It was legendary. I mean, I think that's how the whole city felt. I think you could just describe it with that. And it's what a swing, man. And like, what a perfect person for that.
That's why
for that moment.
Dude, this sport in the playoffs, like I've been debating with people, what is the craziest playoff, right? Like the NHL has crazy postseasons, especially in overtime. NFL is one game.
Yeah.
But like not every micro play matters. In basketball, nothing matters till the conference finals, like
nothing
game 6
till,
anyway.
And nothing matters
in the
till
fourth
2
quarter.
minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, NBA fans. It's just I can't
love
put
basketball, but it's like you're watching 3.5 quarters for nothing for it all to come down to 65 seconds.
But in baseball, especially when you go from regular season to postseason, literally every single micro event matters. Every single pitch, every single advancing from second to third or first to second, a tag up, a heads up play. We saw it in 2015, Daniel Murphy going first to third on the walk that wound up being huge for the Mets. Where do you rank it? Because for me, I feel like, given all I just said, baseball is by far the craziest postseason of all them.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I'd say baseball and hockey are like...
You a hockey guy?
I am.
Who do you root for?
Damn.
Safe space. Just say it. It's okay.
So I'm a Boston Bruin fan.
Wow. I thought you were going to say Sabres.
No, my brothers are Sabres fans. So it's I follow hockey, but I get more into it closer to the playoffs because it's playoff hockey, right? And those guys are putting their face in front of slap shots, for the cup. And so if you're willing to do that, they're willing to do whatever. They play injured. I think it was Marchand. No, Bergeron.
Yeah, he had a collapsed lung in 2015.
And they were like, "You cannot play," and he said, "I'm playing."
Gregory Campbell had a broken leg and still took the next shift and was blocking shots with Austin in 2013.
Yeah, it's incredible. So I'd say baseball 1, hockey 2, 1A, 1B, whatever, however you want to rank it. And so my dad, big Bruins guy, loved Bobby Orr growing up. Bobby Orr and Larry Bird, actually. So he's also a Celtics fan. I like the Orlando Magic. Shout out Magic.
You and Lindor, both.
Yeah, it's like they're such a fun team. They're awesome and they play great defense. And they're young and they're hungry and the coach is hungry and the city is kind of rallying behind them, so it's cool. But obviously, if like I'm going to talk about my fandom, I can't leave out the Buffalo Bills either.
I was about to say, I hope you're a Bills fan.
So
we got a big one on Monday. Now, I know the question is totally, we're so far from where the question was.
We can't find our way back, but we're Jets fans.
So
not a fun year for us so
we were
far.
talking about
I was asking about the differences between all the postseasons and what makes baseball so crazy.
All right, so
who's your college team? No, I'm kidding.
Michigan, by the way.
Liberty.
Yeah, all of them actually. I like Sabrina.
Sabrina's awesome.
Sabrina's awesome. Caitlin Clark obviously is amazing. And then everyone, I think, obviously the sport's growing and there's a ton of excitement. So, shout out the WNBA. They're doing great. But back to playoff baseball.
Yes.
Every pitch matters. A walk is a rally. An error is a rally. The fans are in on every pitch because they get it too. They get how the game can swing in one pitch. And I think, back to JD, he said it best. He's like, this is the time where you really have to control your emotions because the momentum swings back and forth. It's very real and you can see it and you can feel it. And, it's like, I think that's what makes, this team so special is like those momentum swings. Everyone stays locked in on the task at hand. So it's really cool. It's very, it's a very professional environment. And then like playoff baseball is just different when it comes to how passionate the fans and how, much they get into it.
And the emotion regulating, I mean, there have been so many times where, the fans are emotional too, as you know. And there have been some tough losses, even since you've arrived here, like losing that game in Arizona, game 2, I think it was. And then you guys bouncing back the next day, DP throwing that big 2-ball, Iglesias coming up with a big hit, clinching the season series against Arizona, which wound up being the difference maker.
Yeah.
You guys lost a tough one in Philly on September 15th. You come back. You guys sweep the Nationals. You run right through them.
Yeah.
No matter how bad things are in a moment, even game 2 in Philly, like that's a tough pill to swallow. You guys come back. You guys, whatever happens to the 9th inning, and then you come back here and you put your foot on the next, and it doesn't go back to Philly.
Right.
You guys have just always bounced back, seemingly every single time you face the adversity. So I'm assuming it has a lot to do with you guys just staying calm, cool, collected, regulating the emotions, and keeping things in check no matter what.
For sure. And obviously, it's like this team just doesn't stop fighting. And I know every team kind of says that, but like, I mean, this team lives by it. It's incredible, and it's everybody. Top to bottom, it's like we can do this, and we pull for one another, and it's really, really cool to be a part of.
We were saying before just how beautiful the sport baseball is. It's the only sport where there's no other sport where you can, like, let's just say in possessions, right? Like you can go up, you could be tied 1-1 and then go up 4-1 with the swing of one bat. There's no other sport like that. In football, you can't go up by 3 touchdown possessions in a single scoring drive. Like there's no sport like that. It's insane. And it's just it's built on tension because you're here at the game for game 4, and like as like some opportunities are passing by, you kind of feel the crowd get tight, and you feel the crowd get a little nervous, and you feel that energy a little in the stands. And then the second Francisco Lindor hits that home run, the energy was insane. All of a sudden, the My Girl was louder than it ever was. The Jose chants are all the way back. Everybody's going crazy on every pitch. It's a sport that's built on tension. Mm-hmm. And because the fan, obviously, the excitement that the fans bring pumps you guys up. Like we've heard you guys say that when the fans are cheering, when they're singing along, it gives you energy. How do you combat that kind of like tension that sometimes the fans bring in when they're like watching a game and getting nervous?
I'm probably not the best guy to answer this because I'm clearly extremely emotional and get affected by external things. But I think you kind of just keep going, and you understand that this is baseball, right? And you're not gonna, every time a guy's on third, you're not gonna drive him in every time, and like as a player, you're gonna realize that, right? But of course, you want it in that moment, like you want to tie the game, you want to get the big hit, but it's kind of just like remembering, like, all right, keep it simple, one pitch at a time. Whatever happens, you take it, you meet it halfway, and then you move forward, right? And it's like, that's how I try to think about it. I, by no means, like I said, should be the one speaking on this because I'm on the roller coaster.
So are we.
But I'm trying to learn and trying to get better at it for sure. And there's a bunch of guys in this clubhouse that I watch on a daily basis and I'm learning from about how they go about it. And it's been big for me just to see guys go about it and that are able to control their emotions and stay mad present. It's cool.
No, Vito talked about the fans, and when we last chatted, we had some tweets from fans back in 2019, and you told us a story about someone calling your mom, which I hope hasn't happened since, because that's not cool, guys. But since you've become a Met, have there been any really cool fan experiences that you've had that you could share? Because everyone loves you. I mean, this fan base has taken to Jesse Winker in a crazy way.
Yeah, there's been some really cool moments, and obviously it's when it's nice to when you receive love. I think as on a human side, like when you receive that, you respond to it, right? There's been a couple cool moments. Like I a couple weeks ago, I was like walking down the street, and someone asked me to take a picture, and I was like, yeah, of course. And so some stuff like that, but just getting to play here has been incredible. Being on this side and feeling, how impactful these fans can be on a nightly basis and how much they care is great, and there's expectations and it's great.
Now we had the first of what we hope are many celebrations in this postseason here at Citi Field. Can you tell us any standout moments for you from that night? Because as you know, that was an important night for this franchise. That was the first time this ballpark got to see that moment.
That's really cool, by the way. Like that's in itself is really cool. And then obviously you want to keep going, and you want to for me, I was just kind of standing there, and I was watching everyone, and I was just kind of thinking like, all right, like we're in the NLCS, and like I was processing what that means, and I was like, okay, like 4 wins, and then you're in the World Series, and it kind of hit me, and it's like I try to process things and try to get a grasp on it, and there's just some things you can't, and I feel like that's one of them. It's like, it's something you dream about as a kid, to be playing playoff baseball. Like, I used to throw a ball up and hit it over my house every day, and it was never like, oh, this is a June Sunday getaway game, and
yeah,
whatever. It was, no, this is game 7. I could never just have had a regular at bat in my mind back then. But
was the crowd booing or cheering in your memories, in your fantasies?
I don't think there was any. Couldn't even comprehend what a crowd was. But I think 7-year-old me would have thought they were cheering. But yeah, it's like you're just kind of standing there processing it, and then you're like, all right, let's get back to work and let's figure out how to win the next game.
Well, 4 wins away from that World Series appearance you just mentioned. What does this team have to do to make that a reality? Other than win 4 games, I know that.
I think just keep going. Just keep playing our brand of baseball and just keep on going. I think we're a very, very talented team, and we're gonna go play as hard as we can, and so I think just keep going forward.
Well, Jesse, thanks for taking the time with us. We know this is a crazy time. You're getting ready for the NLCS, heading over to California. We'll find out tonight who you're playing, but you can follow this podcast on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Meet at the Apple. I'm on Twitter at Vito F. Khaleesi, John at JMB9191. And Jesse's going to be on Fox all week, so tune into these Mets games.
Yeah, let's go Mets.
And fire those nice tweets about Jesse, because we're going to read them to him later on.
Let's go Mets.
You want to take a picture with you?
No.
Thank you, Jesse.